and I am joined by two guests today, very special guests in the mobile store. One of them is directly behind me, just panting away. That would be my lovely little boy, Devin. Oh, so there's Devin, and Athena is back there too. There she is. There we go. So, all right. Well, hopefully this panting isn't going to be too disruptive. But today's episode is really, it's on giving yourself a Christmas gift. It's Christmas Day. And to give yourself a gift that will continue to give is to make a declaration for yourself to grow. Constant theme on this channel, because this is the entirety of what the channel is dedicated to, is growth. Find things that interest you. So as I'm listening to some of the information, I constantly am doing research. I'm constantly seeking out things that really hold my attention. Fortunately for myself and for people that enjoy listening to me or working with me and partnership, mentorship, or whatever the ship may be, I just don't stop. So I'm always developing, and I just think that life is so fascinating. Personality values are fascinating. Science, just bonding, you name it. All 8 areas of maturity is absolutely fascinating to me. So today I've come across specific personality traits or structures, the psychological values, and the organization of specific traits that create these categories that we use to reference people. So like alpha males, beta males, gamma males, sigma males. Each one have their own values. So the alpha male being the incredibly, boisterous and or dominant character that not always tactful or rarely tactful, but very often aggressive, domineering. Beta males being the exact opposite of that, which is they want to be beta. Alpha, the ones that feel like they're contending with the alpha. But the beta male is the one, like in the wolf packs, it's the one that shows its neck first, so that it can live to potentially fight another day, and to continue, living within the pack, but also is the one that may be first to try to undermine the alpha. Gamma males being, much lower on the totem pole, if you will. They're not exactly very proactive to take care of themselves, but they constantly convince themselves that there's something else. Often trying to pull on, traits from either the sigma or the alpha male values, and convincing themselves overall that that's going to be. Then the sigma male is more of the lone wolf of the group. So the alpha wants to be the leader. The sigma doesn't care typically about the leadership part as much. They're more lone wolf driven. There's a significant amount of traits that go into each one of these that actually help characterize them. So it's not like, hey, what I just did is a justification, not necessarily, a just description of each one of those categories. Actually, if anything, it's probably one of the worst descriptions you'll get all day of each one of those. But point is, if anything else, it'll get you to go and look into it. But I'm going over it. I've been really fascinated by the sigma male category, because I'm going through listening to and researching these areas, and specifically the sigma male today, is the trait values resonate with me through self-analysis and historical perspectives and preferential thinking. And I don't mean preferential thinking by meaning that I changed my thinking in order to meet this. I mean it more that, buddy, are you okay? Calm down. It's okay. There you go, my little man. All right, no, sir. No, you don't. Stop. All right. So, okay. So so on the Sigma side of things is listening to it and realizing that that resonates incredibly well with me. I am more of a lone wolf in the sense I really don't require the pack leadership or any of that. That's just not the kind of person that I am. I also prefer brutal honesty over deception. So just honesty in general over deception is by far my preference. Actually, it's not even, it is a preference because I always have a choice. But my integrity makes me hold the truth. I don't always abide by rules. I understand there's rules for a reason, but I also break rules at times because of the structural restrictions that rules can sometimes bring, especially whenever rules may be created in a way that are very black and white and restrict the actual situation that a person may be going through and their ability to adapt. So I also hold a very high degree of integrity for myself, and I hold a high responsibility for that integrity. What I do to others is very meaningful to me, and I intend to always do what is best for the greater good than for a selfish good. But I also do not neglect myself in the process. I'm not a martyr. There's a lot of value that the Sigma male holds that really resonates well with me, and including on the dark side of it too. It's not always the light side, the virtuous side, the preferential side that's socially acceptable, but also on the darker side of it, how I am very stubborn, but I'm stubborn with an understanding. So it depends on where you witness me from versus the idea in general, right? Well, he's stubborn. No, if you witness me from a position of insecurity and or of ignorance or the unknown, and you only witness from your perspective without gathering enough information to understand why I'm actually holding my position of being stubborn, it's easier for you to say, you know what, this guy's just stubborn and is stubborn to a fault or a vice, and that really not be it for me. I am unwilling to waver on specific things, depending on what the thing is, but on specific topics, there are certain subjects that I will not waver on, like, honesty, if you will. I won't waver on that. As just an example, there's plenty of things that I just won't do that with, but, I do not, I never intend to condescend people. That's another one that actually shows up on the Sigma. On the darker side, I never intend to condescend people, but I do think it's such a depth and such layers that it may seem that way to the witness, but I never do it with intent. Well, let me take that back. 95% of the time, I do not do it with intent. If ever there's a time whenever condescension is used, it's more for a teaching moment. If you've witnessed me do such a thing, it's probably against a narcissist. If I come across a narcissist, sociopath, or psychopath, you would likely see me use that as an outing tool, if you will. That's one of the things that also, of the personality traits in the four that I've mentioned, the Sigma is the one that is most likely to recognize the dark triad, Machiavellian sociopathy and psychopathy, or sociopaths and psychopaths. The Sigma is the most likely to act those people. Also, these are all very fascinating things because of how incredibly accurate, or just how accurate they seem to be for me. Now, it's not that I'm trying to find the most preferential personality structure that seems to be the most heroic, if you will. That's not it. It's really just listening to it as if, trying to keep an open mind to it. I am, at times, the hardest person to be in a relationship with of any type, and at the exact simultaneous time, I'm the easiest person to be in a relationship with of any type. No, but it's all up to who the person be that's in that relationship. Because I do what I can to be myself and to be as true as possible and honest as possible, and true to myself as well. This episode could have easily been termed, entitled about Sigma, but it's not. The intent is find something that you're fascinated by. Pick a subject that is valuable enough for you that you want to spend your time working on it. Now, if you're having challenges in whatever types of relationships you find yourself challenged in, well, how about we work on figuring out things that we can develop ourselves in to pull us away from that, to pull us away from the challenge, it's actually not to pull us away from that challenge. Let me take that back. It's to help us build upon our who we are, to overcome the challenge, to work through it. Okay. Give yourself that gift. You'll appreciate it. All right. Again, this is Search Addict Brochures. This is Growing Up in the Wilds of Suburbia, and I'm accompanied by my two guests here, Devin and Athena. Until next time, let's keep working on this stuff. Let's get up to something. Let's make the life that you want. Let's work towards it. And, we'll get there. Stick with me. This is a sticky thing at times. It's a little hard, but it's well worth it. All right, until next time. Let me get these little babies out of the car. See ya.